What's going on guys, Aero here and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about my most anticipated game for this year, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now Xenoblade 3 was revealed in the last Nintendo Direct that we had a couple days ago, and this is by far the game that I am the most excited for this year. If you guys don't know, I am a huge fan of the Xenoblade series. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is actually my favorite video game of all time, and I also really love Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so to hear that there's going to be a completely brand new Xenoblade game coming out, Xenoblade 3, it just makes me extremely excited to see how the game is going to be like. And so I do want to make videos about this game and talk about like new information, theories, and other things like that. So if you guys are interested in videos like this, I would really appreciate it if you show your support and click the like button, even subscribe and leave a comment. Videos like this which really don't do as well, if you really show your support, it could really help out a lot, so I would really appreciate it. And if these types of videos start to do better, then I'll know to make even more of them and try to get them out faster. But in this video, we're going to be taking a deep look at the message about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 right from Monolithsoft's director himself, Mr. Tetsuya Takahashi. Now whether you've already seen this message or you haven't heard of it at all, I think that there's a lot of interesting things in here and a lot of information to unpack, and it really kind of gives you an idea for what they're planning with this game, so I do want to talk about it and give you guys my thoughts. Now real quick before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Opera GX. Opera GX is an amazing web browser that's designed for gamers in mind, and it comes with a whole bunch of really cool features that all types of gamers would really enjoy. The first one that we have here is this really amazing GX control feature, which allows you to have this control panel that gives you access to a lot of things when using your web browser. The first one that we have here is like this network limiter where you can turn on the switch here, and it's basically going to limit your internet usage that you're going to be doing, so that way you're not going to be getting lag and things like that inside of your games. You can even limit the RAM that you're using so your CPU doesn't have so much strain on it when you're going through websites and things like that, so it's a very useful feature to have if you're playing a lot of games but also need to have your browser open in the background. Now another really cool feature about this web browser is that you can actually access a lot of your social media right from the web browser with the sidebar right here. So I can click on this Twitter icon and boom, it opens up my Twitter right here. I can scroll through tweets and like them and just kind of go through the tweets like that, so it's kind of cool that you have access to these right away. Alternatively, you can also open Discord and other things like that where you can talk to people in your Discord, so it's just really cool how you can easily have access to all of these things like that right away with the web browser itself. You even have access to music right here, so you can go through like your Spotify and play music right here, so just having all of this stuff be integrated right into the browser itself is extremely useful. Opera GX also has a special mobile version that you can download on your mobile device. You can get it on the App Store or Google Play, and that allows you to be able to access all those amazing features on your phone, but you can also be able to connect the two with your desktop and your mobile phone and transfer stuff over, so it's really nice and intuitive with how everything is linked together. And so Opera GX is just a really cool browser with a lot of cool features that are just targeted towards gamers, and gamers would definitely benefit a lot from this browser. So if you're interested in Opera GX, definitely be sure to click it and download it from the link below in the description. And thank you so much again to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Alright, so taking a look at this message, the first thing that it says here is, "Hi everyone, this is Tetsuya Takahashi from Monolithsoft. Just over 4 years since the release of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and 1.5 years since the release of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, we now bring you news regarding the latest game from Monolithsoft, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. As the name suggests, it's the third installment in the Xenoblade Chronicles series. We are currently making final adjustments to ensure we create the best game possible based on everything we've learned from past entries in the series." So just from this first paragraph alone, it says right here that we are currently making final adjustments to ensure that we create the best game possible based on everything we've learned from past entries in the series. So this confirms that Monolithsoft is actually listening to feedback about the Xenoblade games, and they've been listening to what Xenoblade fans have seemed to like a lot from the prior Xenoblade games and what people didn't like so much either. So I think it's really awesome that they are taking feedback and they're really going to try to incorporate that into Xenoblade 3, so this is really going to end up trying to be the best possible Xenoblade game out of all the other ones. And we've already seen this in the past with Xenoblade games as well, where in Xenoblade 2, for example, one of the things that a lot of people didn't like was the navigation system and how that kind of worked with the numbers at the top of the screen that would get smaller. It wasn't really that reliable, and so because of that, with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, they changed that to having a dotted line that shows you exactly where you need to go on the map, and it was much more reliable and better. So because of that, if they're taking feedback from all of the past Xenoblade games into Xenoblade 3, I'm very confident that they're going to make an amazing game. The next thing that it says here is the key visual features a broken great sword of Mechonis and the body of the Orion Titan with a gaping wound. I imagine everyone who saw the trailer was quite surprised by the final scene. What is this visual hinting at? I can't reveal that just yet. What I can tell you is that this visual was conceived quite some time ago. More precisely speaking, we came up with it sometime between the end of development of Xenoblade Chronicles and the beginning of development of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so it's not something we recently added into the series. Now there's a lot of stuff to unpack inside of this paragraph, but of course the first thing that it talks about is the key visual for the game, where it shows the Mechonis sword and the Orion Titan fusing together. So this is really insane because of course the Mechonis sword comes from Xenoblade 1 and the Orion Titan comes from Xenoblade 2, so they're really putting both of the games together inside of this and fusing them together to make Xenoblade 3. There's a lot of different theories about this and a lot of crazy things that people have talked about, and I'm actually planning on making like a more dedicated video talking just about the story of this game and kind of how the world could be like and all of that, so you can look forward to that video very soon. But I do think that it's really kind of crazy how they kind of just fuse both of these games together. Also, the craziest thing about this paragraph is how Mr. Takahashi revealed that this was something that they didn't just add recently into the series, but rather something that was planned for a very long time. So that's actually insane and mind-blowing, because obviously when they first made the original Xenoblade 1, they were not planning on making like a sequel or anything like that. In fact, the original Xenoblade 1 wasn't even supposed to come to the US or other parts of the world. It was supposed to just be like its own separate thing inside of Japan, but of course later people started asking for it to come to other parts of the world, and then it became like this big game all around the world, so they started planning on Xenoblade 2. But it's just insane that even when they started the very early parts of Xenoblade 2 and kind of just wrapped up Xenoblade 1, they were like, you know what, let's actually make a Xenoblade 2 and then make a Xenoblade 3 and combine both of these titans together in the very end. It's just really kind of insane, because this isn't something that's going to be kind of like a fan service thing that they just shoehorned into the game to make it seem like really cool, but rather something that was planned and what they really wanted all along. The next thing that it says here is that we believe the game will be enjoyable for both of those who've played Xenoblade Chronicles or Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as well as those who will be playing a Xenoblade Chronicles game for the first time. So this is awesome because he's talking about how you're not going to have to play past Xenoblade games in order to understand Xenoblade 3, and the game is still going to be enjoyable for everyone. Now obviously with the information that we already have, like the sword of the Mechonis fusing in with the Orion Titan, and it looks like that even characters from both Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 are still somehow going to be inside of this game, it definitely does look like that Xenoblade 3 is going to have a lot of references and things to past Xenoblade games. So even if everybody is still able to understand it, even if you're playing for the first time, I do think that people who have played the prior Xenoblade games like Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 are going to be able to understand the bigger picture. And of course there's other little things inside of the games as well, like Future Connected and Torna and all of that. So I do plan on making a video like that in the future, talking about like the exact correct order that you should play the game in order to understand everything about Xenoblade 3. But it is nice to know that you're not going to have to play all of those past games if you still want to have a good time with Xenoblade 3. The next thing that it says here is the characters were designed by Masatsugu Saito, who also designed the characters for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. While we can't reveal them at this time, Koichi Mugatani created some of the game's key artwork. As you can see, familiar staff members with the Xenoblade Chronicles series have once again come together to create this game. The game music was also handled by artists who've contributed to the series in the past. The music for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was composed by Yosunori Mitsuda, Manami Kiyota from Ace, Tomori Kudo, Chico, Kenji Hiramatsu, and Mariam Abusnar. I probably butchered like half of those names, but it is nice to see that a lot of the familiar people who have worked with Xenoblade in the past are still coming together once again to make Xenoblade Chronicles 3. In fact, the main composer for the game, Mr. Mitsuda, actually teased about this last year, where he said that he was going to start working on a brand new large-scale project, and of course at the time, since he works on a lot of other things like movies and anime, we didn't really know for sure if it was going to be for Xenoblade 3, but in the end it did end up being for Xenoblade 3, and I'm very happy. And so the last thing that it says here is the music in this game maintains the unique Xenoblade Chronicles touch while also taking on a new challenge, namely that of integrating a flute-based melody as its motif. The flute is actually one of the key themes in this game. A variety of other elements and themes are still hidden in the trailer, and we'll be revealing the details a bit at a time going forward. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a new adventure bringing together the worlds of Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to take players into the future. While there is still some time before release of the game, I hope that you'll look forward to it. And so the last big thing to kind of come out of this message is talking about the flute, and so we do know that the flute is now going to be a key element inside of the game, and of course in the trailer we also do see the flutes appear a lot and the characters playing them. We don't really know exactly what they could mean, but I do have some theories about them, and you can look forward to hearing about them in the story video, which will probably be coming out very soon. Either way, there was a lot of interesting stuff inside of this message, and honestly, just reading through all of this and kind of unpacking all the information, in the end, it just makes me even more excited for this game. And so yeah, there you go guys, that is the message about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, right from the director of Monolithsoft himself. If you guys enjoyed this video, then definitely be sure to click that like button, and also comment down below, let me know how you guys feel about this. How do you guys feel about the stuff that was talked about inside of this message? Is it making you even more excited for Xenoblade 3? What are some of the theories that you guys have? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Xenoblade content in the future, so definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.